just want you to sit in your chair and go, hip hip hooray, for the Western press and the Western narrative, regurgitating the same old, every single day, without exception. Please watch the first series, the first 2 episodes, the second series. Look at that.
Absolutely fascinating.
And it was the first time the Beatles had really stopped being semi-professional almost.
Good evening, everyone. It's history tonight, and we mix in with the history of literature as well. So Anthony and myself. So be good. It should be good tonight, because I was telling Anthony today, I had a quick phone call, and I said that I've got to mention a film that I watched. So I'll mention it later, which, you know, it's brilliant the way it's not the TV and film thing tonight, honestly. It's just a film that I watched over the weekend. And I was saying to Anthony, I said, Anthony, you've got to watch it, because I'll explain in a moment about it. And it stars one of our stalwarts, you know, great stalwarts of that. And there's a few other actors in it that you'll recognise. And it's really good. So I'll let you know in a moment or two. I just want to say hello and to Gap Painting Services. These wonderful people, you know, sponsor the likes of tonight's show with Anthony and myself. And without these, you know, they wouldn't be a show, I'm being honest. Because, you know, they sponsor us. It's expensive to do these things. It really is, and they help us out. Jason and myself, they help us. And it's Gap Painting Services. Please get them in. If you're an NHS worker, if you're elderly, you know, whether you're a couple or on your own, you get special discounts. Don't struggle with decorating your own. Just get them in. Let them give you the price. And if you don't fit into the categories, you get them in as well. Because, you know, they'll give you the price, what you want doing, without any obligation whatsoever. Any obligation whatsoever. So please, you know, get them in for everyone. For you all. That's Gap Painting Services, who sponsor every single part. Anthony doesn't know what happened to me the other day. I'm gonna shock him in a moment. Gonna shock him. And I'm gonna say hello to Anthony. Hey, Anthony.
Good evening, Frank. Good evening. Yeah. Loud and clear. What happened? Were you at the match fighting again?
Well, I'll let you know in a moment. I've just got to say hello to this fella before he gets off. It's me mate, Steve Evo. The other fella's still blaming the wind for Saturday. Yeah, he's a windbag. He's a windbag, Steve. I just want to say hello to the TW. Even if Frank and Anthony.
Good evening, TW.
Johan. Good evening, Frank. Apologies, I wasn't around to moderate the spoilers on Saturday. We should introduce a 5-10 minute timeout on spoilers during the watch along. I'm going to explain something in a moment, Johan. And the TW was there as well, so I'll explain as well to him. Like and subscribe, please, for our legend, says TW. That's nice, isn't it?
That's nice.
And Johan, says TW. Good evening, Mr. Brown, says Johan.
Good evening, Mr. Kindness. Thank you.
The Scottish for you as well. Even if Frank and Anthony, what's tonight's subject, says Gary Rigby. You'll be getting to know in a moment. It'll be good, honestly. I'm not just saying that, the history of Shakespeare. And as I mentioned about a film, which I'll let you know, it's incredible. It's incredible the way it was set up. Very clever. And she says, big up painting services, Gap Paintings. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you.
Well, NTW. Yeah. Absolutely big up.
Lovely. I love them letting on to one another because, they're smashing people. And Steve sending me a pic. I think he just sent it. I'll have a look in a moment or two. Steve. And Bella, our lovely Bella.
Okay.
When I say to Franco, Antonio, and all you lovely family.
Beautiful.
Isn't it? Isn't that lovely?
Yes. Thank you, Bella.
I've just got to explain, Anthony, about the match. The match. Right. And what it was, it's what Johan said, actually, before. He said, when he apologised for not being there because he's a moderator. Because I had a couple of trolls on. As I was doing the watch along, I was doing it live. And I'm a little bit behind them, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, these trolls who were on, only a couple of trolls, they realised that I was behind and they were putting up like scores, if you know what I mean. You see, so they were putting up the scores. Then one of the lads, I think it was TW or someone said, Christopher as well, Christopher always says, no spoilers, don't spoil it. So I explained, I said, listen, I'm behind you. So as the game went on, we scored, a goal.
Yeah.
And I said, you just spoiled it for me. This is the first goal we scored. Liverpool, after being 2-0 behind. I said, don't do it. And the others were saying, don't spoil it for them. Because, it's like, do you know what it's like, Anthony? It's like watching a film, right? And someone behind you goes like that, that's the murder. Do you understand? If you're watching a who's done it. So I just knew that it was 2-1. Then as the game went on, it went like that. Again, they came out and shouted, oh, look, well done, Sir Bosley, oh, great goal. And they spoiled it for him. And then I said, that's it now. I said, I'm going. I said, I'm not having this. I said, I sit here freezing cold, trying to interact with you, and you're interacting with each other, which is great. Don't get me wrong, which is great, because they do interact with one another. But they're spoiling it for me. And a couple of them are the lads that who know about the spoiling, because I got rid of the trolls myself. I blocked them. And then, maybe it was impulse, I don't know, because we got an equaliser. But it spoiled it, and I'm doing no more watch-alongs. I'm not going to do any more because, I sit in here watching a match and I'm fucking freezing. I'm sorry to swear, but I'm freezing. My hands are perished. And you know, I'm not telling them to show me respect or anything, but they can hold back and just, without giving the score away to me, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to do no more watch alongs. I've picked that in the head. Also, what it is, to be honest, I'm being honest here. I'm only going to do post matches. I'll do a post match, or I might do a pre match as well. But I won't do the watch
Yeah.
along. I'd rather sit in the warmth of my own living room watching the game and then do a
Yes.
post match. See what I mean? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do any more watch alongs.
Wow.
Sad, isn't it?
It is sad. I'm sorry you went through that. And, our chatters who were with you, who too would have been frustrated by that.
It's just mad. I'll just see what these have said. Bella says, evening to everyone. Johan to Bella. Hi, Bella. Just let me go down. Gary Rigby. I hope it's not the case of FC versus AB. Only a verbal exchange about interesting things. Yes, that's what it's all about. Gary, honestly. Joe dropped but managed to keep hold of my pint when their third goal went in. Spoiler alert, we got beat at home. That's mad, honestly. Evening, Anthony. Keep warm. Going to be Baltic in the next few days. Yes. Aaron Steve says evening goal. He's a good lad, Steve Evans, He really is. And Gary says some of the nasty comments about Liverpool on YouTube videos are unbelievable. These people are sick in the head. Telling you,
Just
Gary.
jealous.
Telling you, Gary. And Johan says, do a pre-match and a post-match. Leave the stream on, but just head inside and come back after the game. Let's let the chat run. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do, Johan. Cheers, mate. That's what I'm going to do. And the T says, I understand, Frank. I will miss the watch along, but I get why you mentioned it. He says, thank you, T. I knew you were there. And I was fuming. And you know what? I got a TW was on, I'm sure he was on this pod. I went on a pod and I was listening to it. And there was some good comments. This is last night. And one of the lads sent me a text. He's a nice fella as well. But fucking fuming over it, Anthony. And he said, Slot's been sacked and it'll all come out tomorrow. So I put it on this thing. I said, I've just heard that Slot's been sacked and we'll know more about it tomorrow. And I put that on and he made a fool of me because, as we know, he hasn't been sacked. And that's what gets me. And this is a person who I know. Polo. Hiya, Polo. Hi, Frank and Anthony.
Hi, Polo. Good evening to you.
And Steve Evans says the most successful club in this country has ever had. FD8s.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been terrible, what they've been saying. But anyway, we're not talking about that. We're going to talk about some history. I want to say to Franco, Anthony and chatters, yes, Anthony, it was frustrating, but I think Franco is doing the best thing. I'll be here before and after the matches. Thank you, Toscana. Thank you. And Linda says, we'll miss the watch along, Frank, but wholeheartedly understand. Thank you, Linda. Thank you. I'm going to put a picture up, if you don't mind.
Oh, great.
There's our mate, Ken Todd.
Oh,
The late Ken.
gosh. That looks like late 50s, early 60s, doesn't it?
79 it is.
79? Wow.
79, yeah.
What a legend. I mean, the name is used often now for everything legendary, but he was,
Oh, he's
wasn't
a
he?
proper legend, yeah. Proper legend. And he was a very religious man.
Very deep thinker.
Very deep. Very deep. And what got me one day, he called me over and I was chatting to him for ages. And his knowledge of history, especially our own history, was immense. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And he tried to catch me out,
Yeah.
He tried to catch me out, and he said, you know Kirby, don't you? And I said, yeah, I know Kirby. He says, well, why is Simonswood named that? Simmonswood, he said. I said, Simmonswood, I said, why do you want to know? He said, can you tell me why it's named that? And he said, I don't know why it's named, It was a little fib. He told me. And I said about King John and a runner that came up. He came up to Liverpool and he went out into the sticks, which was Kirby at the time. And he had this runner and he had to cross like a field sort of thing, a big field. And King John was going around the country, believe it or not, with this runner. And anyone who could beat him, he'd give them a reward. So anyway, this runner, undefeated, came here, went out into the sticks of Liverpool, which is, Kirby. And then he says, anyone who can defeat their, usual palaver, he's undefeated. Anyone who can beat him will get a reward. And this is King John. So anyway, this, the people who were there, pointed to this lad. And he said, yeah, they beat him. So anyway, he said, so they had a race. They went around. And the lads easily beat him. And King John says, what's your name? And he said, Simon. He said, you see that wood over there? He said, I give you that.
Wow.
Hence Simmonswood. Well, Simons Wood, but it became Simmonswood in Kirby. How about that?
That's just absolutely. It's like a story that is generated, but that's wonderful. Absolutely fantastic. But
I just said that to Ken, and he went, and he just smiled and nodded and said, "You're right." I said, "You knew that, didn't you?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "You were trying to catch me out." He said, "Yeah."
Well, he obviously had his ideas that you were the best.
Yeah, that's the greatest compliment I've ever had.
Absolutely.
Coming from him, He actually got up out of a thing. Some historian, his mate, someone anyway, said, I want you to listen to a historian. So anyway, he thought it was me. We went down and this fella came on, started talking, and he said, why have you got in? Why didn't you get Frank Carlyle? And he said, well, I don't know. He said, okay. He got up and walked out.
Wow.
He got up and walked out. He says, you get the best, don't be getting
Yeah. Would have been behind him.
Let's see what the people have been saying about him. Even Steve loved Ken Dodd, says Linda.
Live
Oh,
by.
she lived by him. Yeah, she lived by Ken Dodd. Yeah, lived by him up in Notty Ash there. And Steve Miss Dodds had the pleasure of meeting him several times at work. Yeah, you're bound to, aren't you, where you work, Steve? He always called me young man. I would crack jokes constantly, boss fella. And for Steve to say he was a boss fella,
Yeah.
he's a boss man. Doddy, I mean, I know what you mean, Steve. You know what
Yeah.
you mean, mate, because you meet a lot where you work. Everyone he meets.
Totally agree, Steve.
And Toscana, Doddy, a true legend, quick-witted and just brilliant.
Yeah.
And Steve says, got a vinyl by somebody you actually know today, Frank, down by the jetty. I know Dr. Feelgood. He goes to see bands, you know, and he puts them on, and I got, who are these? And he brings his young lads, you know, Dylan, to these bands. I haven't a clue, do you? My Beatles days are over, I'm afraid. And Gary Rigby says, Ken was so quick-witted, his stand-up seemed like it was off the cuff. Not sure if it was or he had some ideas what he was going to say. I used to go to the Good Turns, was always there, and he was the chair. And I actually gave a couple of talks there. I was the only one ever to give a talk because the other people were either comedians or musicians. You know, they all did whatever they did. And he said to me one day, I was just sitting there, you know, at a table, and he said, we've got Frank Carlyle here, he said, and he's going to give a talk about history. I didn't even know. So I had to get up, you know, and he gave this talk, which was great. Then he invited me along again, and which was good, you know, which was good. And that's the kind of a person he is.
I know.
That's lovely, though. And Bella says, earns a place in the Guinness Book of Records for the world's longest joke-telling session, delivering 1,500 jokes in 3.5 hours. I didn't know that. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that, but I can imagine. I mean, he used to say things like, when he took the stage at the Philharmonic or whatever, it'd say, have you all got your sandwiches, your packed sandwiches, and enough money for a taxi? Because the buses will have stopped by the time I finish.
Wonderful, man. Paulie, hi Frank and Anthony and chat.
Good evening, Paulie.
And he carries on by saying, met him on a photography job, and he had me in a whole room in stitches. His quick wit was on show all afternoon. And that's what the man was like, to be honest. A lovely man at that.
He was
a lovely man.
Yeah.
I'm going to have this here. And look at that. Wow. Do you know, that's Stanley Park, would you believe?
Wow.
Stanley Park. It's incredible. Wow. Anyway, let's get started. We'll do more of those in a moment or two. And Toscana says, what do they put in the water in Liverpool? So many famous, talented people from there. Isn't that lovely?
It is lovely. I guarantee that if you go to any area, New York, Ellis Island, where there's that beautiful mix of cultures and people. And what you do is you laugh and you sing.
Well, Gary was at one of his shows, and he says, "If you leave now, I'll follow you home and shout jokes through the letterbox."
Uh,
And the Evo says, first time I ever saw him was in a pantomime. He was a great actor, you know. He
it
played
was.
Malvolio in, what was it? The Tempest, is it The Tempest?
I think he did. Yeah, I think our Drew was with him in that.
Was he?
Yeah, yeah, he'd acted with him, and someone said, yeah, one. That's the old thing that they say, isn't it? Someone who is naturally a comic, um, has that depth to be sinister as well, isn't it?
Yeah. And you know where Steve Evo say the first time I ever saw him was in a panto.
So I,
Jason says, "Oh no, you didn't."
I did. He's behind you.
Oh no, you didn't. Anyway, so I've got to tell them about this film. Whether they watch it or not, I don't know. But it was very clever. Now, if you think, well, what's that got to do with history or literature? Uh, but just hear me out on it. Because I told you about it, didn't I, Anthony?
And I am going to watch it tomorrow.
Uh, so anyway, what it is, James Mason. Now, James Mason's a fantastic actor. And I was looking at it, right? I like James Mason, and I also like a French actress called Simone Signoret. I think she's a fantastic actor. I bet she's passed now.
Yeah.
But what a wonderful actor. Anyway, I was watching this, and it was about spies. And Maximilian Schell was in it, and a very good German actor.
He is.
So I was watching it, and it was the way it went. It was about spies. It was about spies, and they thought that someone was giving secrets away. They were giving secrets away. The point is, you know, James Mason's talking to this fella. He said, "Don't be worried, I'm going to clear your name." And that's where the film starts, because his boss, James Mason's boss, tells him to go and see the fella. He committed suicide. Apparently, he committed suicide. And James Mason said, no, he never. He was okay this morning. He was delighted that he was going to be cleared of spying. And his boss says, well, go and see his wife, see what happens, you know. Anyway, he goes to see his wife. And this is where it really begins. Now, the point is, when these spies are meeting, they're actually meeting at the Royal Shakespeare Company in London, you know, to be synonymous, really, this is synonymous, I'm sorry, you know, with the play, with the film. And what you had at first, and you've got to think about it, you had the three witches on stage, you know, they were rehearsing the three witches, and Ubble Bubble, Soil and Trouble. So if you think about it, you go, it's going to be, you know, a lot of trouble.
Something's going on.
Lots of trouble.
Yeah.
For James Mason. Ubble Bubble, Soil and Trouble, you know, and whatever. So you think about that. I did anyway. So anyway, as it goes on, they go again to the Royal Shakespeare Company, you know, these spies. And they're looking at this other person. And what's on it? absolutely brilliant is Richard II, and you see his death scene. You actually see the death scene of Richard II and the traitor, doing him in. So you follow it and you go, something's going to happen. There's going to be a death and there's going to be a traitor. But I haven't given too much away. Believe it or not, I haven't.
No, but that sounds totally fantastic writing to link the two.
Very clever. Very, very clever. So I watched it and right to the end as well. And it was very, in my opinion, it was great. Great acting. Great acting.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah. But you know what got me? I'll tell you what. Like British films, it's always bloody well rains. It's just raining all the time, so damp and miserable and grim. But mind you, it was a bit of a grim film to begin with.
Grim storyline, yeah.
Oh, the storyline, very clever. And Toscana to party. Are you a photographer? I'm jealous if you are. It's my passion. Yeah, see. When I went to Aintree Races, says Bella, Doddy was there to cut the ribbon, but he started telling jokes and he had everybody in stitches. The officials were trying to get him to cut the ribbon. It was so funny. That's before he cut the ribbon. He mustn't let anyone go. Because once you cut the ribbon, you just disappear, don't you?
Yeah. It was a wonderful story. I wasn't there. It was a wonderful story that he was in town outside the Empire Theatre and he's got a taxi door open. Like he's going to step in. The taxi driver stood out. He sees this a great Ken Dodd. So he's just waiting. And then as the guy comes up to talk to Ken, so he's talking to the guy, and the taxi driver's just waiting patiently, for his fare to get in the car. And then another guy comes up, then another guy, then another guy. And Ken's got them all in pleats. So this crowd in the middle of town is building up and building up and building up. So as the taxi driver was just about to kind of come round and usher Ken in the car, he got off somewhere else. Said, all right, lads, I see you tomorrow. Walked off the taxi.
That's typical, though, isn't it? Typical of the man.
He was a magnificent man. And my first dealings with him was I was asked to paint his portrait. But long story short, he came into our studio shortly after we'd had the twins, our Tom, and he saw a photo on the wall, along with 16 ton of other stuff. And he, as we were talking before about him being very deep, he said to me, what would you wish for your children, Anthony? And I thought he was trying to, catch me out. And I was saying, I'm not sure what you mean, Ken. And he said, I would wish that throughout life they'd be happy. And I thought, yeah, obviously that's what we would wish to. So it wasn't like I want to be a doctor, want a lawyer, want a multi-millionaire, a footballer. Just I wish they would be happy.
That's lovely, though.
It is lovely. He was lovely, wasn't he? He was a giant.
Yeah. I think that's why he told jokes all the time, because he wanted to make people happy.
He did, and he had a bit of sadness in his own life.
Oh, of course he did, yeah. But, it's great legends, sadly missed. and he gave Liverpool and the people. Well, he gave not just Liverpool, but he gave the country, such love and fun. Made
Yes.
people laugh. That's what he's. That's what he's.
Yes.
That's what he was. He was a very funny man.
He was such an icon for Liverpool, wasn't he? And the Scouse humour.
Yeah, there's something. Listen to this. And I watched Jimmy Dore. Johan. Kate Medzer on the Jimmy Dore recently mentioned things to come. H.G. Wells, a film you told us to watch ages ago. He has
Yeah.
gone up in my evaluation.
Yeah.
Kate Medzer, yeah, he gets on my nerves, to be honest, Johan. But, for him to say that, he just interrupts Jimmy all the time with his silly jokes, and he's wearing silly hats now, and, he's getting dressed up silly. But to mention that, things to come, because people don't realise about literature. They really don't. They don't realise about Shakespeare. And that's why I mentioned the film, because it related to what happens, like them spies, for example, if you know what I mean. Everything connects. Literature
Yeah.
connects. Things to come connects, if you know what I mean. With the likes
Absolutely.
of the great visionary writer, H.G.
Yeah. And at the time it was created, and what it portrayed is well ahead. I won't say any more about it, but it is when you told me to watch it, and I got it the next day. Um, I just watched it twice in a run, then saved it. It's just absolutely uh, a brilliant film.
It is, because it gives you and this is before it all started, if you know what I mean.
Mm.
You see, when I actually give a lecture about the First World War, I have to go to the seeds. Everything is seeds. You just don't get up one morning and say, I think I'll have a war. You don't do that. The seeds are already sown for everything. Everything. And you've got to have a motive as well. You've got to have a reason to go to war. Anyway, I reckon I'm not trying to be clever or anything, but I reckon that Wells, HG, he knew something about two things imperative, two things, and this is what got him thinking. One is the Franco-Prussian War. Two, well, three things really. Two, when Bismarck invited Prussia and Saxonia to join Germany to make one mighty Germany,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And the second one was in 1892 with the Schlieffen Plan. And
Yeah.
Schlieffen, what he planned out, these are the seeds. What
Yeah.
Schlieffen plans, you're talking 1891, 82, 92. Uh, what he did, he said, we'll draw England, or Britain, whether he says England or Britain, I don't know, into France. We'll destroy them, and we'll march eastward to Russia. That's what he said. That was the plan. That was the plan. And I think HG, seen or knew about this, if you know what I mean. He knew about it for some reason. He
I
definitely knew about Germany becoming a mighty Germany. He definitely knew about that. And, whether he knew about the Franco-Prussian War, which I'm sure he did, because he loved his history, as you know. Um,
Yeah.
And I think that's why he's gone. Bing, things to come.
I think he was an avid reader since
Oh yeah,
childhood, and he read everything. He would read the, the so-called foreign papers to see what was going on. And I
yeah,
think you described there as well, which makes sense, is that it's like a charge at a light brigade moment. He's seen something in a newspaper, and he thought that's going to happen, or that could feasibly happen, and he's gone for that.
he has gone for it because he must have known something. You can't just like wake up one morning and go, "Oh, I think I'll write something about like things to come." If you know what I mean. He
Yeah,
must have known something
yeah,
long before it's happened.
yeah,
And you're talking about planes.
yeah,
You're talking about bombings.
yeah.
You're talking about the devastation.
He mentioned the term atomic bomb,
Yes.
which had not been used for
No, no, it wasn't until the 30s, late 30s, when Sir James Chadwick from Liverpool University split the atom.
yeah,
Wasn't Oppenheimer.
no,
That's why I won't watch the film Oppenheimer.
no.
I won't watch it because I mentioned to someone, I said, was James Chadwick mentioned? And he said, very, very briefly. I said, I wouldn't bother. I wouldn't bother. But, give Oppenheimer his due. He says, I didn't think that they would use it. Or, we wouldn't have done that. So it's, but getting back to these visionaries, you've only got to look at the artists. And we have mentioned this before. And you look at Leonardo da Vinci. And Da
Absolutely.
Vinci, you talk about his drawings, what he actually drew.
He wasn't allowed an education because he was an illegitimate child of a very wealthy man who came from a very wealthy family. But his mother, who brought him up for the first 5 years of her life, didn't have that level of society. So he grew up in nature and he observed how animals, how they moved, how they were. And at a point, he started to draw that because that he never ever, he's regarded as the greatest artist in the world, bar none. And you and I you know how passionate I think about him. But he never thought himself as an artist. He saw himself as an inventor. So he was seeing how people moved, how dogs, cats, horses, cows, cattle, machinery, how it would be to fly like a bird. And he started to draw that. And people didn't pay any attention to it because we know better now because we're on the other side of it all. But what was he inventing in those scribble pads, which I believe um, Microsoft guy, he
Bill
paid
Gates. Bill Gates.
he paid something like 300 million for one of these scribble pads. Is
Good.
original, yeah, and they're scattered around. You know, hopefully most of them are in safe hands in Italy, where they belong. I'm passionate about that. But yeah, and his drawings are in there.
Well, we talk about even architects.
Yeah,
Now at the break, after the break, I'm going to show you something that I've got
Wow.
that an architect actually made. And one of our great architects, not modern day. And I'll show you it later on,
Fantastic.
after the break.
Yeah.
And I've got it. I have it here in my home.
God.
And it's incredible. Yeah, there's the drawings.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's the drawings.
How could you even conceive that? You know, well, we're looking at, you said it with history, and it's bang on true. Every day of the week, we walk around towns and cities and we look up and say, oh, look, there's phones for you. Oh, there's a burger bar. But you're not seeing the greater picture, which is the beauty of the building that houses these things. He was looking at things well out of our scope. You know, he was just phenomenal.
And as you shared as well, he was really uneducated. He wasn't given the education that normal, what I'm saying is the elite was getting at the time.
But then I think we come across that in our life, in our level now. It's like now, governmental. Why would you feel that 12 or 13 or 15 people who've gone to a public school, Eton, know about how people function and what we need? And you put them all in charge of a country they have no idea about. And it's been said many times by many learned people, far more learned than me, but the idea of having a split council of people, so people who come from nothing but have got a wonderful brain, work alongside. Leonardo, one of my favourite quotes was at a point when someone said to him, do you miss the fact that you didn't have cultured education? You weren't, scholared in a way that the rich people were. And his reply was something along the lines of, I think the greatest gift I had towards my work was not being educated by these academia types, these platforms.
Go away.
And the same with Blake, because it's
yeah, Blake was the same.
Because everyone, Francis, this is how you draw the horse, like this. Follow me. So you're robotically following the line of the education system, where Leonardo didn't follow any of that, and as we know, William Blake didn't. And to bring it forward, neither did John Lennon, and whoever else. There's countless people up there. Neither did Shakespeare. You have to do it that way. I went through it for about 6 months. Hold your pencil like that. Gauge this. I know nothing about painting or drawing. I never had a painting lesson in my life, which is the greatest thing, because I make mistakes, and then mistakes turn into something else. We know that through our history, and Leonardo was the first great with that.
Absolutely, and as I said, I love Da Vinci. Even when we first met, I mentioned Da Vinci, and you were surprised. You said, I love myself. So it was a great thing in common we had. The Anfield Roar, even in Frankie and Anthony, you all right, lads? And look at all them Scotches.
Oh, we will be after that. Thank you, Anfield.
Yeah, I just said before, when I got off the other day, I was really annoyed. I was freezing in here, and I explained before to the people about the watch along, and they appreciated what I said, Anfield, and what it was. I was sitting here, as you know, I was freezing because I'm freezing in here. We're doing the watch along, and the spoilers were coming on. I had a couple of trolls. I got rid of them, and then when the second goal went in, I was sick. I said, it spoiled it. And as I mentioned before, it's like watching a film, and who done it, and you say, and it's good. And someone turns around to you and goes, he's the murderer, or she's the murderer. It's no use watching it because you've been told the end. And that's what it was like to me. And I got annoyed. So what I'm intending to do, I'm not going to do the actual watch along. So what I'm going to do, Anfield, is do a pre-match. Leave it on. You can all chat during the game. You can all chat, but I won't be here. I'll be in my living room watching the match rather than the watch along because I'm always behind. And then do the post match. That's what I'll be doing, if you know what I mean. So that's me. I hope you understand. I just hope you understand. I've got to say to Steve Mulholland, I've just seen his name there. There he is. Stephen Shakeshaft was a great, he was, and I have some funny story to tell you about him sometimes. Say Steve Mulholland, the old mate, Steve. Steve, I gave you a ring today, but your phone was off. Your phone was off, mate. But I've got it. I sent you an email with mine on.
Yeah.
With mine on.
Stephen Shakeshaft was a lovely, lovely guy. He gave me some photos he took of Doddy when he heard that I might be painting him. He's really, really nice.
And Bella says Shakespeare is credited with coining or popularizing over 1,700 words and phrases that you likely use daily. We said about that, haven't we, when we were at the chat?
Heart on the sleeve. Yeah.
Brilliant. She says, buonasera, Franco Antonio from Marcella. Hey, Marcella.
Good evening, Marcella. Wonderful to have you with us and your mum.
Good evening from me as well. And she's just been to the Amalfi Coast.
Where you're going?
Marcella. The Amalfi Coast. Isn't that brilliant? Toscana photography is so addictive when it gets a grip of you. I haven't took photos for about 10 years now. After I finished work, I got so bored, so get degree in photography for my sanity. That's brilliant, though.
That is brilliant. Yeah. And again, it's like painting, it's collecting what we see, what we think is beautiful. To voice.
Yeah, let's see. Toscana says to Paulie, it definitely is. I've met some great people through it who have remained good friends, going to Tuscany in September to family and hoping to go to Rome, Napoli and Pompeii. You wouldn't believe it. I've been to Pompeii on no less than, do you know how many times I've been there? 46 times.
Get away.
46 times I've been to
Was that,
Pompeii.
was it due to the archaeology?
Yeah,
Archaeology.
yeah. And, my students, and not only that, but when I've gone on holiday, I always go away for 2 weeks, you see. And I go there about 3 times, and you'll always find something new. It's incredible. Herculaneum as well. Herculaneum is absolutely amazing. It's just amazing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There's more in Herculaneum, than there is in Pompeii.
My word. I was staggered. Well, Lenny and I both followed it. It was a wonderful program on TV where they used the modern day technology, um, AI, and they put back kind of what would have been there in Pompeii, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it made Rome look like tiny.
Yes.
No, the city of Rome.
Yeah, I
Um,
know what you mean.
yeah,
But it's not, because I've been around Rome. I know Rome.
yeah,
I really do. I know Rome like my own city, believe it or not. And when I walked around Rome, you know, people, they just see the forum, which is absolutely fantastic. They just see the forum
yeah,
and they look at it and they go, wow. And they think that that's it. But it's not, because when you spread out of, the middle of Rome, say, for example, and you see columns. It's like looking in a garden, if you know what I mean. And you see a column, you know, next to buildings, and that's how it was. Then you get to the outside, and you see the Roman wall, because it was a walled city, and it's huge. Rome, it's huge. But with the likes of Pompeii, absolutely amazing, and you find something new all the time. And when I looked at Herculaneum, see what you have Herculaneum up here, the new one,
yeah,
and you'll have the old one. And unfortunately, when they've gone in, excavating, from here,
yeah.
they've gone in, and the unfortunate thing is they can't go in any further, because the foundations of the new Herculaneum. You see what I mean? So they can't go in any further. Yet it's absolutely brilliant. I remember going in there, and I went into this like villa thing, in Herculaneum, and I seen a picture, honestly, and it was just on the wall, and it was a little picture of Vesuvius. It wasn't the eruption or anything. And I said to the guys, I said, that's a shame, putting that up on the wall. He said, no, it's 2,000 years old. A little picture, like a painting, but it was a painting. And it was just stuck on the wall. And I thought it was like a modern day thing.
Wow.
That's why I said, that's a shame. He said, no, it's 2,000 years. It's like the fountain in Pompeii. And I said to the guy then, I said, that's a shame, about putting a modern day fountain in, because it was pristine. He said, no, it's 2,000 years old. So this is the way it was.
Yeah.
This is the way, these wonderful men, these engineers, incredible. They had fountains, waters. How'd you do that? They had, central heating. Especially here in the winter.
Yeah. And this is before Leonardo, and it's like, where did they get that idea from, that vision?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is amazing.
We are all inspired by something and someone, but where does it stop? Where do they get it from? Where does it?
It is.
Yeah. Billy.
If you think about it, and people have to think about it as well. He sat with a candle writing.
Yeah.
With a quill pen. A quill pen.
Yeah.
Like his contemporaries also. You know what I mean? It's just, it's amazing. And it goes through the years as well. You've got the Brontes, the girls, writing with a quill pen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dickens.
You've got, I mean, for William Blake it changed because he drew in pen and ink and then would colour it. But, the most poignant thing with him was that he spent his last penny for his wife to buy a couple of pencils so he can finish a job. These are the things that I absolutely love, that we totally take for granted, because we live in a world now where you can get things like right on your phone, do all sorts of stuff, but it's the mental agility and the heart, the want to do these things, create these things. If you not the magic tablet.
No, I just want to, before we go to break, Jeanette says, hi Jeanette, I've never visited Herculaneum. I've never visited Herculaneum, but Pompeii is mind-blowing. And you've got to, if you ever go down there again, you've got to visit Herculaneum. If you think Pompeii blows your mind, go there. That blows your mind too. It's unbelievable. Now listen, with our J being here, hang on. Let's just get that up. There's his house.
His house.
That's his house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Incredible.
It is.
I've seen his house, been down there to Stratford. Right, so what I'm gonna, we'll go for a quick break, AJ. This is the Collegiate of Shaw Street, a very famous place of learning. Today, there are fancy apartments, but at least it's still here. And just around the corner from the Collegiate is its neighbour, SFX, St Francis Xavier School. And the two of them, the two wonderful buildings, are linked to our next hero. It's a funny place, Liverpool. You'll always find a place of tranquility, and this is Whiteley Gardens here on Shaw Street. Peace, birds singing,
beautiful day. Now that's what George Gabriel Curie longed for in the trenches during the 1914-18 conflict. George Gabriel Curie, born Liverpool in 1896, and he was educated at St Francis Xavier School, Salisbury Street. Then at Stonyhurst College, Ribble Valley. Now, he was an apprentice in the cotton trades in the Albany in Old Hall Street. And when war broke out, on the 4th of August 1914, he was commissioned into the Pioneer Corps as a second lieutenant. The pioneers, what's the definition of the pioneers? They never get the credit that they richly deserve. Now what the pioneers did, they actually repaired the roads. They went out into no man's land and dug the trenches for an advancement of the Allies, brought the ammunition up, even the barbed wire. The pioneers' job was really hazardous because they came under immense fire continually. And on the 8th of August 1916, at a place known as Arrowhead Copse near Julemont, the Battle of the Somme was raging. Curie and his men advanced into no man's land under heavy enemy fire to dig trenches for the advancement of Allied troops. He completed his mission, but with heavy casualties and the wounding of a CO. He went out again into machine gun swept no man's land in order to bring back his wounded CO. In broad daylight, in full view of the enemy and extreme heavy fire, he brought back his commanding officer. This conspicuous gallantry earned Curie a Victoria Cross. He was promoted to full lieutenant from second lieutenant. He was transferred from his regiment to the Royal Flying Corps as a pilot and promoted to captain. So what happened to George Gabriel Curie? Well, he survived the war. He came back to Liverpool and he wanted to go back into his own cotton business in Old Hall Street, but unfortunately that had collapsed. So he had no job. So what did he do to provide for his family? He opened a chippy called the Chip Pan around the corner from St Francis Xavier School, his old school, Brunswick Road. And there he was, happy as Larry, serving his customers with his fish and chips. Then the Second World War broke out and he enlisted yet again. And what did he do? He actually landed on the 6th of June 1944, D-Day. What a survivor this man was. Survived the First World War, the Second World War, and finally he did get his call. And in 1956 he died, and he's buried at St Peter's and Paul, Crosby. Staying with great engineering feats, let's move down to the waterfront for one of the greatest buildings in the world. Why is it a Liverpool unequalled? Simple, because it's the very first steel infrastructure in the world. New York and many other major cities around the world simply copied it. Underneath the famous Liverpool stands the biggest clock face in the country, and the dignitaries in 1911 actually had a dinner around it before it was put in place. So the biggest clock face in the country must have the biggest mechanism in the country. Now, afraid not. Just have a look at this. Can you believe that? The chimes are ordinary piano wire. But hey, don't tell anyone, because what they don't know won't hurt.
Absolutely fantastic.
It's though, isn't it? It is.
I once had the opportunity to go up and walk around Lime Street because at one point in the early 2000s, I'd been asked to do artwork for what would have been the staff down in the basement.
Yeah.
It never happened. But in the course of me being there, I went up the staircase to the top floor, and all the furnishings and everything in there was created on site. Because you couldn't lift these things up the staircases, so they made them in the room. William Morris's firm, the Arts and Crafts Movement. That building is like, if there's a list of the 7, 10 greatest buildings in the world, that's got to be on it.
Of course. Of course. You're talking about the library.
Yes.
It was the first. It was the. It was the very first skyscraper in the country. Did you know that?
No, well, only through you. You taught me. Yeah, but wow.
Oh, well, I love Art Deco.
Yeah.
I love it, and I've got something which I'm going to show you now. That was made by Herbert J. Rouse.
Wow.
Herbert J. Rouse.
This is what you were talking about earlier.
And it was for Martin's Bank, which was still there, the building.
Beautiful building.
Yeah, in Water Street. And this is one of the things that I've got that he actually made. So someone had told me that this was crafted by Herbert himself.
Wow.
And it's here. It's a money box belonging to Martin's Bank. Show you.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh,
I've got
yeah.
the key as well. I've got the key. And they're like for pennies and threepenny bits, and on the other side,
And sixpences.
yeah, everything. Florins, half a crown, sixpences, threepenny bits.
Whoa.
There you go.
Oh my word.
Every side you can see it full.
Oh,
Isn't that brilliant?
it is brilliant. It is brilliant.
Crafted by himself.
My gosh. Fantastic. What a gift. What a possession to have.
Yeah, absolutely delighted with that. Can't believe it, to be honest. I really can't, because I love Herbert J. Rose, and someone knew that I loved him because I was always talking about him. His Art Deco, the lines, everything. And they gave me that as a present. He said, don't lose it, keep it. It's a valuable item, very valuable, he said.
Of course it would be. I love the story, the connection where you met his chauffeur. Robert's chauffeur.
Sunday mornings, right, um, he used to drive out into the Wirral somewhere. That's where he lived over there. And he went out every Sunday. And he used to bring us scotch. That I don't know whether you ever had a scotch, Anthony. But anyway, he used to drink his scotch, right? And he used to be... And he had a phone in his car. And he used to phone, his valet or butler, whatever he was, and say, can you come and get me? So the fella, he used to go along on his bike, find him wherever he was, open the boot, because he used to just come down and stick his bike in, and he used to drive him home. But a few times, the village cop, on his bicycle, driving, pedaling along, and he used to see him. And then he used to go back to station and phone the butler up and say, can you come and get there? Because that's what he was like. That's what the man was like. He was a genius. The Americans asked him to go to America. He said, no. He said, I'm just doing them here. He said, I don't need to go to America. So that's how important he was. He did, around the country, he did all his Art Deco as well. But we've got him here, we've got his buildings here. He's a local lad. I tell you what, fantastic building. And it looks modern. But when you look at it closely, you can actually see that the windows, he wanted the windows done very special. And when you look at the windows that I'm talking about, you go, wow, because people just don't bother looking at these windows. And what they've got musical figures. People playing like a trumpet or whatever, a violin or whatever, And that's the Philharmonic Hall.
I love that building. The acoustics in that building are second to none.
Oh,
they're the greatest. If they could have enlarged the scale, we know we've got a arena on the waterfront, which the acoustics are not remotely near the depth of the Philharmonic. And you've got every musical. I mean, if Derek was here with us, he would reel them off. But I know from my perspective, people like, Buddy Holly and onwards, classical works that were performed there. The Philharmonic Orchestra is just like world renowned.
Did you know I gave a talk there?
You gave a talk in the film? Oh, I am so sorry I missed that one.
And you
That
know who
would
he
have,
gave it to? And they were there, the orchestra, the actual Philharmonic orchestra, and I it was it was a. I've given talks to lawyers. I've given talks to international architects. I've given talks at Royal College of Art surgeons, and but I was not frightened, but I was nervous because of what they were, and what they are. And two of them became very good friends of mine, actually. A man and wife, they were in the orchestra. And it was incredible. There was other people there, obviously, as well. And as you mentioned about the acoustics, a fella came up to me I don't know, you don't call him a stagehand, and he said, you don't need a microphone or anything. I said, I don't use them anyway, which I didn't, never used them.
yeah.
And he said, oh, okay. And then he said, can you say something? Because I was there half an hour before. And I went, yeah. So I said something. And he said, that's perfect. That's perfect. And you're right, the acoustics are incredible. Going right around.
Yes. I have been to many forms of music in there, and it's just wonderful to, because like you say, you feel you're in the audience, you feel surrounded by that.
It's good though, isn't it? Not
Oh,
many people can say that, can they?
no, they can't say that. It's McCart, it's legendary Paul McCartney's favourite theatre in the city. That's why he hosts and has his Lipper events there, and then go back to Lipper, um, the award ceremonies and stuff like that.
Do you know who I followed though? And it was the next night. Oh, was it the night? The night? Was it the night before or the next night? I'm not forgetting. Forget now. Um, and I went, "Are you joking, aren't you?" Do you know who it was? I didn't even know he had a band. This fella. You know where the actor Steven Seagal.
Yes,
I don't know whether it was the day after, I was on, or the day before. I forget now, whether it was before or,
yeah.
pre or post.
Follow that.
I think so, yeah.
I
Yeah.
wonder if he was like Terry Savalas, who wasn't. I believe he was a nice man, but he wasn't. He wasn't a musician, and he had that one massive hit, didn't he? If a picture paints 1,000 words, like you've
Yeah,
read a list.
yeah. It's like Lee Marvin.
Wondering.
I was born, because they have that very deep, gruff voice.
I had that single when I was a kid. I've still got it in one of these cupboards. And the B side of that single, Lee Marvin one side, the B side was Clint Eastwood, your old mate.
Clint.
Yeah,
Yeah, he sang a song, didn't he? And that I forget. No, it wasn't painting your wagon. I forget. Was it? I forget what it was, but he was in Clint. He
uh,
never mentioned it when we had a chat, though.
probably sold out by then.
What was that song you sang, Clint?
I talk to the trees was his track. Yeah,
Have you seen him now? Have you seen Clint now?
I've seen footage of him, but you don't know if it's current or whatever.
He's not half. He stooped over, and he's shrunk as well.
Yeah,
Definitely shrunk. The man.
we do that with age. I mean, I started drinking when I was 26.
It's
Same
not
time
thinking when I was born.
now.
Yeah, so let's answer the stage. Yeah,
Shakespeare's gaff.
I love
Wonderful.
it. I really, when you look at Shakespeare and where he lived, and I, this is true. This I don't know whether I've said it before. I brought my students down there, and we were going to see Hamlet and Kenneth Branagh.
Wow.
Incredible. So anyway, before it began, we had to walk around, and I went into this shop, souvenir shop, and I was talking to the young girl, and there was an American lady there, and she said what she bought was a guidebook,
Yeah.
to get around.
Yeah.
And she was wanting to know where the house was, Shakespeare's house. So she bought a guidebook, and she said, bye, honey, and walked out. And then I was talking to the girl because I was buying something. And the bell went again, when the door opens, the bell went. This is genuine, this, honestly, genuine. She looked in the girl, the American lady.
Yeah.
You're not going to believe what she said. She said, honey, excuse me, honey, will be in? Will he be in his own? And the girl said, oh, he's well passed on. Oh, okay, honey, and walked off. That's genuine, though. I haven't a clue. Will be home. That's what she said. Will be home.
Stop gigging.
I would have said, yeah. Have a look on his door. He'd be in. I'd give you a cup of tea.
You know what? I from my early teens, I grew up with a picture similar to that in the house. And I didn't know what it was for years, but I loved it. The little watercolor of Shakespeare's house. And I eventually, my mum told me what it was. When my mum and dad went down there for a while, it was my mum's great pleasure to visit his homeland, his home turf, and when an image sticks in your head, that stuck in my head forever. We have it now because sadly we don't have my mum and dad, but it's such a thing that my mum took a great pride in having pictures of Shakespeare's house.
Fantastic. I was there and went to his grammar school, seen his name carved in. Everybody, even myself, we always carved our names, in schools or colleges or whatever. Everyone's on it. Everybody did it for some reason, to say that you were there.
Yeah.
Listen to this. Listen to this. It's Bella. This is for you, Johan. Keys click in a rhythmic beat, spinning tales on every sheet, a world of ink and stories told. Isn't that lovely?
That is beautiful.
And one for Bella, Toscana from Bella. A frame captures the fleeting light, holding a world within its sight. With every click, a heartbeat stays, lost in the lens, silent gaze.
Photography. Truly beautiful, beautiful, Bella. And thank you, Marcella. Absolutely beautiful.
Isn't that lovely?
Yes.
See how wonderful our chatters are.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. And I know. Yeah.
And I've got to say hello to Ali, who's joins us from Romania.
Oh,
Ali's with us.
wonderful.
What's that?
Romeo and Juliet.
Yep. Romeo and I can't get over my granddaughter, Sophia.
Yeah.
And she, they were doing English, literature. She was 12 at the time. And she loves Romeo and Juliet. Loves it. Loves the play.
Yeah.
And when I said to her, she was 13, she's just like a few months after her 13th birthday. And I said to her, she was telling me, how she enjoys Romeo and Juliet. And she's got the film, I think. She got the film with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
She's got that film, Romeo and Juliet. Anyway, she said, I said to her, do you know about a balcony? And she said, yeah. And I showed her my balcony. I said, this is what you call a Juliet balcony. Just like that, what you see there. I said, that's a Juliet balcony. That stems from Romeo and Juliet, the balconies that are made. She said, I said, yeah, that's why they're called Juliet balconies. So anyway, I said to her, how would you like to go to Verona to see Juliet's balcony? And she's dead excited. She was dead excited. And she was down the other day, and she said, I said, have you told your school friends? She said, yeah. Can't wait. I said, will you go? Because by the time we get there, and it's near their 14th birthday. Everything's paid for now, so I'm delighted with it. Anthony.
Fantastic. That's a memory made forever.
Johan says, Bella, thank you, Marcella. Oh, Bella, that was brilliant. It'll be Bella's poem, Johan. But Marcella will be writing it out. Marcella, do me a favour. If you can you tell me how you enjoyed the Amalfi? Because I love the Amalfi Coast. Can you tell me how it went, please, and where you stayed? Because I was going to stay in a place called Maori. I would have loved to have stayed in a place called Zatrani, but unfortunately there are too many steps going down. If I would have gone down, I would never have got up, unfortunately. So let me know, Marcella, how it was, please. Thank you. Thank you. And there's the original globe.
Wow.
Look at that. I'll go back to the 80s on this. Was it the 80s? Yes, the 80s. And in Smethwick in London, that's where it was based. That's where the actual Globe Theatre was built. Right?
Yeah.
And how can I put this? They found it. They were digging up a site for a big office block. That's all it was, a business office block. And they found the original Globe. They found it. They actually found it, you know, because they got these archaeologists in and specialists. And they said, we found something here. You know, these are the ordinary diggers, you know, whatever. And when they dug deep, they found the original Globe that was built in Smethwick, London. That thing there, what you're looking at. And they were made up, you know, even Olivier was there, Gregory the Peck was there. It was unbelievable. Sam Wanamaker. And they were pleading with Thatcher. Even American, you know, like I'm talking about American stalwarts who we admired, actors, the likes of Gregory Peck. And they were pleading with the British government, especially Thatcher, our lads, you know, and girls, Maggie Smith, Dame Judy, you know, they were pleading, and so was Larry Olivier. And saying, you know, we've got to preserve this. And Thatcher wouldn't give the blessing. They filled it in. Big office block is standing on the top of it.
Yeah. Jesus. Yes. Says it all for British establishment.
I think everyone's Ali, he's written a poem. We're all poets. And he says, Ali, that's for you, Frank. When it is hard for you to hear, when the world seems cold and grey, smile and keep your courage near. Let the worries drift away. Is that great?
Really. And we do for a while. We do for a while when we're on air with you guys.
Yeah, and that's no BS. That honestly, it's no BS because Anthony and myself look forward to it all the time. We always look forward to it because, as you know, do football pods. I'm doing one tomorrow night actually, 7 o'clock as usual. But I don't think many will be joining me tomorrow night. They'll be watching the Champions League and whatever. So, but I will be doing it. I want to apologise to some other people as well about. But I had to walk away. I was human, during the watch along. But anyway, that's another story. And Bella says, Franco, what a beautiful possession you've got. Yes.
Money box.
it's incredible.
Just a connection.
Yeah, the connection with Herbert J. Rouse.
Yeah, a genius.
Yeah, just love the man. Love his work, that is.
Yeah.
And even Bella says, that's beautiful words to Ali. Johan says, new submissions for the Ballads of the Chat poetry book tonight. Ballads of the Chat. That's a great, that, isn't it? Do you know what, though? I think it'll be a great idea, but we can't, unfortunately. Get the poems that are being written and, to put them up one night, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Put them up one night.
I think you're right. It's like a different league, but it's like the old children's programs when we were kids. That work was submitted and shown. That's what it's all about.
Yes.
Yeah. And Toscana.
There's a lot of talented people on here. Yes.
Yes. There is.
And Bella says, Johan, what do you type about? What kinds of stories? Yeah, see, he's a storyteller. He has to be because he's a teacher. They tell loads of stories to keep everybody quiet. Johan knows the score. And Jason says, get them sent to me. I'll sort that. Yeah, look, people. There's our email address there.
And our Jason will get them together. And our Jason, who happens to be a brilliant writer in his own,
Right.
under his hat.
And no one knows about that, really.
No, we know about it. And
we know about it.
We will bring it up.
Children's, isn't it, that he writes?
Yeah.
I don't believe it, like tonight. It's just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Oh, look at that.
Merchants of Venice.
Yes.
So,
yes. No, do you know what it is? Yeah. Alas, poor Yorick.
Ah, I knew him well.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at the grave digger there. He's down there. He's got a shop.
I mean, that's the old saying, certainly in weather like that. It's cold, colder than the grave digger's ass.
Says it was mostly children, what we said about him, right?
Yeah.
And he said, I've recently switched to on it, so you won't read anything I've done, Frank.
We will read it. I will read it.
Okay, Emily. Do you know what? I'm not being funny, but I got up the other morning, right? Early hours, pitch black. And a big bang went. It didn't half frighten me.
Jeez.
Big bang.
Was it like a firework thing?
I don't know. It was just a bang because, you're half asleep, aren't you?
Yeah.
And bang. I thought it was someone coming through my door, to be honest.
Bloody hell.
And I shouted, if you're a fella, stay away. But if you're a girl, come in, you're all right. Nothing will happen. Which it wouldn't anyway.
We'll put the kettle on as you're walking through.
Yeah, make a cup of tea for us.
Oh. You know what? I think those midnight hours, they do funny things to all of us. And it happens throughout history, doesn't it? Writers and artists and musicians. There's that late night thing where you wake up to do something innocent, go to loo, have a drink or whatever, but then you can't get back asleep because your mind's woken up. It's like your mind's woken up and your body is saying, just give it a rest. Let me go sleep. And then all sorts of stuff, your subconscious doors open up.
Yeah. You know, it does open, and that's why. Yeah, it's like having a nightmare. You know, you wake up and you don't want to go back asleep.
No.
You've had a nightmare. Got a few of them in me time.
Yeah, me too.
And Jason says, I tried poetry, but it wasn't really my thing. I have one that I'll throw in the mix if we do it. So listen, people, I'll throw one in as well. I can't send a poem. I wanted to send a poem to Anthony, having a clue how to do it. You know, I've been trying every day. You know, to send you. It just won't go.
Wow.
So get them over, people, to that.
To the email. Yeah.
We'll leave the address up. We will leave it up for you. And Toscana says, so what you're saying, Johan, is that you're writing about Liverpool's season so far. Oh. Take no notice of her, Johan. She's trying to wind you up. He could do as well, see how our season's going. God blimey. There's the email there, look.
Yeah.
Just take a photograph of it, got your phone, just click it. And then just send them out, and we'll put them up one night.
Yeah. Yeah. And if we get a load, we'll put them in you know, we'll have a spot, the history shows, to put them up.
Absolutely.
We crammed in, and there you go. Well, be nice to feature so many a show, wouldn't it?
Oh, that'd be fantastic. Because the very talented. I've still got that one she wrote about us, Bella.
Yeah.
I had to photograph it off there.
Yeah, I did the same thing to show Amy.
Because we're hopeless now.
Well, it's impulse, isn't it? Simple.
Yeah.
If Leonardo had a mobile phone, he'd have done the same thing. Maybe.
I wonder if, you know, those things, kids get them, you know, you can draw with them, and the adults, they get paint by numbers. I wonder what they would have taught, like in the future, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Say H.G. Wells was their mate, if you know what I mean, at their time. And we're like, yeah, lads, this is what's going to happen in the future, you know, paint by numbers.
Paint by numbers, yeah. And you're sending text messages. What?
What?
Yeah.
Let's see what this is. Oh.
Oh, there's the man. with his greatest work in his head.
Oh, isn't that incredible? And the Mona Lisa. Hey,
Yeah. Nearly 10 years ago that was done.
wow. That's fantastic, that, Anthony. Honestly, that's absolutely fantastic, mate. You've got every detail there, haven't you? Like his eyes. You've got his. It. It's not a. It's a serious looking face, isn't it? You know the way he's looking. And
I,
you know, he could be looking at Angelo because
he
he
could-
never
well,
really got on with him, did he?
yeah, they only ever had one full-blown row in the street. It's like, you and me walking down the street to go to John May's, and then there's some snide or whatever in the street start shouting the odds. That's what Michelangelo did to Leonardo in the street. And everyone felt that Leonardo, being the gentle, just humbled soul that he was, would say, just leave it, just forget it. But he didn't. He had to pop back. He said, and you sack of. So the two in a row in the street. But
See, as I said, Anthony, we've got to see it where they lived. They lived facing each other.
I,
I couldn't believe it. You know, when the guide,
yeah,
and she
wow,
just said that's where Da Vinci lived. Because by the time we got there, the first house that we came to was Da Vinci's. And she
yeah,
was just standing there and she went, that's where Da Vinci lived.
yeah.
And I was looking, I was just looking at us, mesmerised, you know. And honestly, she just said, and there, she said, is where Angelo lived. Couldn't believe it.
No.
And as you said, you know, he has a full blown. It could have been out of the windows, if you know what I mean.
Well, it's like we love Liverpool. It's our town. I live slightly outside Liverpool now, but uh, our passion for where we come from, where we love, stay with us till the day we're gone. And I think the same was true of the two geniuses. But unfortunately, they just didn't get on. And Michelangelo would kind of throw what I regard as a dirty trick. He would play the class system, the class cards. You know, you know nothing. You came from uh, you were illegitimate. You know
Well,
nothing.
I've got to tell the people, Anthony painted this, you know. This is Anthony's work, ladies and gents. It's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. And you've got to, you know, to his left ear and Da Vinci's left ear.
Yeah.
You've got a little face. Can you tell us what that is?
To
It's a
his left,
drawing. It's a drawing, obviously.
it's a drawing of a lady. It is, in my opinion, the greatest drawing ever made by anyone on this planet, here or gone. And it's just a sketch from his sketchbooks, countless. He only ever painted 20 paintings in his life possibly 22. Couple went missing, which is the way of it. That's what happens. But he didn't worry about that. He regarded himself as an inventor, like we said before. And all of these pieces of work are him inventing something new. And that drawing is him inventing a technique which is still used today by
Oh,
every academy, by every, you know,
wow.
academy, art school. And to me, it when I was a little boy, and my dad showed me the book he had, which is like an A5 book on the work of Leonardo da Vinci, I thought that's what I want to do when I grow up. That drawing. So everything else, we aim for one thing, don't we, in life, and other stuff kind of happens. Like you, when you were young and you're going to be archaeology was going to be your thing. Well, had you done that, we wouldn't have known you, or possibly we would, because you'd have written about it.
It's strange, isn't it? Our life, you were inspired by Da Vinci and inspired by his drawing. Myself, I loved history, as a young kid running into bunking off school. But I think I learned more bunking off school, junior school, than in class, if you know what I mean. Anyway, I just read about 5 great men, actually. 5 great men, military men, strangely enough. But there was other history as well.
He did the same thing as you. He wasn't allowed to go to school, so it's slightly different in that respect. So he studied what was there, which was nature. And you put yourself down by saying that, no, I sagged off school or whatever. But you were going somewhere that no one else possibly knew where you were going. You did.
Yeah. But then again, when, as I said, when I went back, which was, anyway, that's by the by, and they weren't doing the archaeology course anymore at uni, so I decided I was just leaving. I said, oh, nothing for me then here. They had me to do a paper, they said, write a paper. I said, okay. So I had to, to see it. Anyway, I threw the paper and he says, yeah, that's excellent. And then that's when they told me there's no archaeology, it's gone. So I decided to just go home. That was it. And I was on my way home until I seen my old professor.
Divine intervention.
Yeah.
That's what we call it.
I was just gone home. I wouldn't have bothered again.
Yeah.
And he made me stay, introduced me to this wonderful lady who was, he knew that I liked the Romans and that, because that's what I wanted to do, archaeology, digging up the old Roman things. And still can't get over it. And he introduced me to this lecturer, the Roman Empire, and she was a double first at Oxford. It's brilliant, she was. So she said, and you can leave after the first term if you want, coming up to Christmas. She said, if you don't like her. I said, okay. But I stayed with her because she was that good and so interested in the empire, the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
And that was it. That's how I finished off me course.
You were brought up what I regard as the most important thing. There's teachers who will flat read to you out of a book. During the war, this happened, that happened. Flatlined. and there are those that will inspire you to find out more on your own terms and to study. It's the inspiration, I think, which is the greater part of.
Yeah, I think anything, there are people who get inspired by other people, if you like. I was the only one out of where I lived, not my family, but where I lived, who went to university.
Yeah, yeah,
The only one.
yeah,
And it's the Macbeth thing.
yeah.
When I was going to see Macbeth, and it was someone's birthday, 21st birthday. And I said, they said, are you ready? We're all off, suit and ties and everything they had on to go to the birthday party. Well, they were going for a drink first, then back to the house, for the birthday. And I said, I'm going to see Macbeth. He said, bring him along as well.
I love that, but that's a great. You could say that was a line from Ken Dodd, but that's just true.
You could actually.
True Liverpool. That's just,
I went back, after seeing Macbeth. One of the lads went like, "Where's that fella? Did you bring him back? That Mac fella?" I went, "No, I wasn't gonna." I just said, "No." He went so. Toscana says, "Wow, aren't they stunning?" Says Toscana.
Thank you, Toscana.
And Johan, brilliant, Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Kindness. Thank you, Johan. Yeah.
And Johan says, as the quote in the internet age goes, I was born intelligent. The education system ruined me. Do you know what? I don't know who actually said that.
No, but that's kind of what Leonardo said.
Oh, who was it? I don't know whether it was Mark Twain or I don't know whether it was Voltaire, Mark Twain, Leo Tolstoy, or someone like that.
Yeah.
Or someone like that said it.
It's like a Tolstoy.
Education system ruined me.
Yeah. Wow.
Or some philosopher. And Bella says, wow, Antonio, beautiful.
Oh. Thank you, Bella. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
Isn't that lovely?
Yeah. Can I kind of sneak in a mention we're talking about tutors and what inspired us in life? Because when I was a kid, there was no one in the family other than my dad who had given it up. And no friends, no family, no schoolmates, anything who wanted anything to do with art. That was like, what, soft people do. But in my entire education system, from childhood to the 2.5 years I spent at art school before I left, one person kind of saw in me what your tutor wonderfully saw in you when he got that young lady professor.
Yeah.
Come and talk to him. We're going to lose him unless you talk to him. And that gave us the Frank Carlyle we know. Well, the one guy that looked at me was, this was a school down the road from where we're living now. So, Whittle School. And I felt totally alone because all my family were in Liverpool. My cousins, my best friends and everything were all gone. And I just felt like a square peg in a round hole. And this one man who was from Scotland Road, Liverpool, and I got a job over here, he said, I know where you want to go. And when art school were not going to allow me in because I didn't have science and I didn't have the highest level of mathematics, he phoned them up and said, just judge him on his work. And they did, and I got in, and I hated it, and I left. And then 20 years later, when our kids, or 25 years later, when our kids had started going to school there, our Emily, and I go to a parents' teachers' evening with Lainey, and there he is, John Badger, this wonderful man, still teaching. And he didn't lift his head up or nothing, but he must have seen me coming in or whatever. And he's marking papers, he's writing, and he said, your daughter Emily's a better artist than you ever were.
Go away.
Yeah, and I just laughed.
Without looking up.
I agree. And then we kind of been friends, and then through the 100 heads, he was one of the heads. He was one that I would have dearly liked with us, with you and me and Lainey, this April, May, June, July, whenever it happens, the exhibition in Greece, Well, sadly, he died a couple of weeks ago, and I can't even describe the hole that it left.
As well, yeah. Well, you've had a couple of passing, haven't you? You had your mate, the architect, as well.
Yeah, the wonderful Gareth Abbott, who was a sensational thinker, right out I don't know where that expression ever came from, right out the box. So I always got that the people in the box were all conformists, and they all, did the same thing to degrees. And the people who did something different, your William Blakes and so on, were not, you couldn't even constrain them in a box. They wouldn't stay in a box. William Shakespeare. Gareth Abbott was definitely one of them. And he's just a beautiful soul, talented man. Huge chunks of Liverpool are designed and arranged, built by him. Our wonderful ancestry, because his great-great-grandfather was one of our legends that we talk about fondly and often, the great Jesse Hartley. And Gareth wouldn't, it's a shh. He wanted to get the job for the fact that he could do it, and he could do it.
Wow.
It's just amazing people, Frank, just amazing. And we've been lucky to meet them. We've been lucky to have them in our life. And it's always that eternal thing that it's inspiration. I'm greatly inspired as a painter now by a meteoric historian, not by art galleries or other artists who I've never mixed with. I am inspired by you and the tales that you bring from of old and of now, and our shared passion with our chatters is literature.
Well, we'll tell them what we're going to plan to do.
Well, tonight has kind of been a warm-up for what we hope to do. This is for our specials or our exhibition. Well, we aim to twin with each other and with you guys for as much as we possibly can. But one of the things that Frank and I talked about, and we talked about again today, is that we would love to do a special 1 or 2 part on the life and depth of William Shakespeare and how he still inspires now, and also how his subject matter, his characters, are as current now as they ever were. and some will kind of shock you, I think. Not shock, but pleasantly lift you, because nothing was off the boards, was it?
No,
Nothing's undercover.
the boards, because with the likes of Shakespeare, he's still revered today as the greatest writer of the planet.
Yes.
There's no one compared to him.
No.
Nobody. And we'd like to give you some of the characters that he portrayed. Some of the characters. And we've got them more or less picked out. But it won't be like just one particular session. It'll be a couple of sessions, because there are so many characters that you've got to understand what they were about.
Yes.
One of the greatest characters, a real villain, a real Machiavellian villain, which I never mentioned today to Anthony, and he'll agree on this, and we will do him. We won't do him in the first session, we will do him in the second, and that's Iago. Iago out of Othello. Absolutely fantastic character, but a right villain. So it's things like that. It's things like that. It's things like greed. It's greed and ambition. It's murder as well. You've got to understand, like, the characters from Shakespeare and how they worked and how they get the audience, you know, no matter whether the audience was from 1594, for example, or, you know, 2026. They ran the audience.
Yeah.
That's why he's so fantastic. The plays are fantastic.
It's like he's writing about today, like these past few days that's gone on across the ocean. He was writing about it then, because he could see the evilness in people and a particular breed of people, and he called it out, put it in a play.
Yeah. And I asked Marcella before, didn't I? I said, how did your Amalfi trip was, you know, and she never answered me. So I fell out with Marcella. I fell out with her big time now. She never answered me, because I just wanted to know how she enjoyed her particular trip to the Amalfi Coast. And she didn't answer. And I'm very disappointed.
She did actually. It'll be in there somewhere.
I'm as disappointed as Arnie Slot being our manager.
I know. I'm sure they would have written about him as well.
I wonder what kind of poetry would have come out.
I don't know. Virgil van Dijk will tell you.
That's just nuts. Just nuts. I just want to put this up again.
Yeah.
Incredible, isn't it?
Yes.
Yo, I'm still in India, Franco, and Ursula was in Delhi. Oh, yes, she was. With Modi. Did you hear what Peskov said about Callas, Kaya Callas? He said, no one wants to talk to her. He says, even the Americans don't want to talk to her. He said, never mind us talking to her. And that's the chief diplomat of the EU. Absolute chronic. What do you think about tonight, mister?
I loved it. I love every show, Frank. I've got to be honest, but I was uh, well closeted amongst greats from our chatters and from our subjects. You know what I'm like on Leonardo, and my God, um, and I am so looking forward to learning more about Shakespearean's the Shakespearean vision of what these people were like.
Exactly. People look. People, they're scared. I'm talking about scholars here. Going to school, going to college, and they don't want to know about Shakespeare because it scares them. Wherefore thou, Romeo, and all this, But if they get to know about the characters and what the characters were like, which we'll be talking about,
Yeah, yeah,
it's incredible.
yeah.
People. I mentioned one character there, Iago, an incredible character, an incredible character. And it was the way it was written. It was the way that it was written. I'll just leave you with this, people. I'll just leave you with this. If you take Macbeth, now Macbeth committed regicide, the most heinous crime you could ever commit, regicide, even today. Say like you committed regicide in this country today, you'd be executed. You'd be executed. So that's the most heinous crime. Yet Macbeth committed this crime on his cousin. His cousin. Yet by the end of the play, you feel sorry for Macbeth. How's that possible? It was the way it was written. And this is what we'll be talking about. Things, certain characters, and what they meant, and what they were like. See, so, I think it should be fascinating subject matter.
Absolutely will be, because we touched on bits with the great Charles Dickens. But, yeah.
This Toscana's poem about, about slot. That's my poem about slot.
That'll go in. We'll put that in, Jace.
We'll put that in. And I'll be doing tomorrow night, I'll be doing the actual...
The warm-up.
Yeah, tomorrow evening. I'm with... on Thursday, on Wednesday, the match, obviously. On Thursday, Anthony won't be here with us, which is sad.
Well, that's sad. It stuff pop up. Our beautiful daughter is going to get married on Thursday, so but I could be here every other Thursday from here till
Christmas. But anyway, I'll be doing history. I'll just leave the literature until Anthony comes back. So I'll just be doing a load of history on Thursday. And Bella says, good night, Franco Antonio. And all you beautiful souls, love the great talent each and every one of you have, and especially our two gentlemen who present the past and the future to us. That's lovely, that, isn't it? Thank you, Bella. You're
Thank
a
you.
lovely lady.
That's wonderful. Very thoughtful of you. And we appreciate it. And we think the same of everyone and you.
Johan. Just say he's going to be busy. Don't say stuff like he won't be with us. Negative karma. Say Johan. Well, he won't. He's going to a wedding where he shouldn't be going to weddings.
He will in spirit.
In spirit, yeah.
I'll drop a comment in when I'm 7 grouses down the line or something.
And Toscana says, that's a great poem. Bella says to Toscana. That's lovely. Jason, congratulations to your daughter, Anthony.
Thank you, Jace. Thank you.
Isn't that lovely?
That's wonderful. She'll probably give me a clip around the head with a teapot in a minute. She's quite playing it down is I guess what.
So we've had a good night, haven't we?
We have.
You know, great chat. I've been told off by Johan.
Okay.
He told me off to be not so negative.
Yeah.
So,
I did. Well, you might get another one from Marcella. No, just.
Yeah, no, she hasn't answered me. I wonder, it must have gone bad for it. She must have gone when she was in the mouth. I don't want to talk about it. Stop it, leave me alone. Anyway, it's just got to say good night, don't we, Anthony?
We do say thank you very much, guys. You have been fantastic to be with. And I will visually see you on Monday, we think, or whenever. But I will tune in and see you over the week. And thank you. All the best to everyone.
Yep.
Yeah.
And as Jason says, night all.
Night,
Thanks,
Jay.
Jason, for tonight. You're brilliant, absolutely brilliant, you know, with those pictures.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being with us. And
yeah,
I'll see you tomorrow night. Without Anthony, without Jason, you know, putting up the. This is why we're lucky to have the history show on a Monday, because we know he's here.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than, you know, trying to get up to Mars to see Johan, you know, and the SpaceX.
Yeah.
Elon Musk SpaceX. But he can't get that far, so he has to come back, you know, to do our shows. And
truly understand that. But thank you, Jace. And so on it with William Shakespeare.
And Bella says, hi, Jason. She's usually gone to bed by now, hasn't she, Bella? Shall we say, got to go now. Good night. Buona notte. And Johan says, thank you, Frank, Mr. Brown, and legends. Enjoy the wedding, Anthony. The scotch is for you. Thank you, Jason. Oh, cheers, Johan. Thank you, mate. Thank you. I'm glad Jason gets mentioned. Congratulations to your daughter and best wishes for the future. Grazie for tonight, Franco, Anthony, and chatters for a great evening. Now, don't forget, people, please, you've got the, please put your little poems in and we will do them. We'll go through them. And please get them off to Jason on that email.
And it doesn't have to stop at the poems, does it? I mean, some of the places we're talking about, and Johan has shown us the kindness and sent us some images. So there's a specific image wherever on the globe that means a lot to you. Send that in.
Please do. And it's a big good night from our wonderful sponsors.
Yeah.
These lads here,
Yeah.
Gap Painting Services, who sponsor. As I said, without Gap, it'd be difficult for us to be honest, to put these things on, these shows, these podcasts. We don't ask anyone for anything. I'd never ask anyone for anything, mate. I don't do super chats or anything. And I think this is the only podcasts, that we read out. Every podcast that is out, we read out the comments because you deserve them to be read out. You take you're writing out these comments, and they should be shown. And that's why I do my best to read them all. And as I said, thanks to Gap Painting Services. Just get them in. If you're a pensioner, if you're an NHS worker, just get them in. Just get them in. Give you the price.
Brilliant.
And Johan says, I'll start compiling from past episodes. We've had quite a few. Thanks, Johan.
Brilliant, Johan.
He's brilliant, him, isn't he?
Yes.
I'd love him to come on, visual with us one night, if he would. We need to include your cat poem as well. Yeah, I'll send you that.
Yes, we do. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll try and send the one I've been trying to send. Trying to send to Anthony. It's just nuts, I can't do it.
Elon Musk. It's gone
do you know what? I tried to send it to. I tried to send it as well to Jason, and I can't do it. I just can't do it. So he could have sent it on to you because I haven't a clue.
And he would have done.
But I have sent you the poem, haven't I?
You have. You sent me.
Everything's changed, now on this thing, because when I went on it last week, they changed everything around.
They have. And what I noticed tonight, like 10 minutes before we connected, was that Instagram and Facebook are now stopping you and saying, subscribe, pay some money, and then you won't see the adverts. But I couldn't get past that page. Basically, it's hustling. We'll mind your car, make 50 pence, make sure no one damages it. That's what they do. So I just sorry, don't need it. We didn't need it.
No. But that's the way it's gone. I can't bloody send anything out.
Yeah.
So what I might have to do, as Johan says there, though, modern day paywall.
Yeah.
It is modern day paywall. This is where the greed comes into everything, unfortunately.
Yes.
The greed. And we'll be talking about greed, won't we? With
in depth.
In depth. And it's just for me to say, Anthony, what can I say? Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. If you're up for it, I'll give you the bell tomorrow before you do your show.
What happens over the weekend?
Everything. I bought a suit. I came home. I went out again, bought a pair of shoes. I've never done stuff like that for you, you know. Yeah.
He said to me, I'll give you the ring. I said, okay. He said, over the weekend. I said, okay.
Yeah.
Frank was sitting there waiting for the phone to go.
You were fighting?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, my grandson comes over, I don't know, no, tomorrow. He went to see Paddy the Baddy in Las Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Ben. And he comes home to slot. Paddy the Baddy getting beaten slots. He comes home to. And Jason says, I'll come visit Sunday and we'll figure it out. Oh, thank you.
Oh, delighted.
That's great, that, because it'll be all right then, for what Johan's doing. He's going to sort them all out.
Yeah.
The poems and that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant, Jay. Thank you, mate. Thank you so much. And on that score, Anthony.
Good night, Professor.
Good night, Anthony. The great artist. I can't get over that. I really can't. I really can't get over that. That's one of the best I've seen, out of all your 100 heads.
That's only a small one, that as well. It's about the size of an echo.
That's brilliant.
Page, but
that's absolutely brilliant.
Thank you, Frank.
It is, honestly. I'm very not envious, you know what I mean, because I'm not a painter, I'm not an artist, I'm a nothing.
You are.
And I just think that it's absolutely fantastic. Like Dave said it on there.
Well, it's like I said, all of the pictures I've been working on the past 6 months, you painted them equally as I did, because you're dropping the seed.
About the size of what, Anthony?
About the size of an echo.
A broadsheet, yeah?
Yeah, not the way it is now, like a modern. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I think it's been great tonight. The people have been great, our wonderful family there.
Absolutely, yeah.
Every single one of them. And it's just for us to say, Jason, sorry, just me amusing myself making you say S-show again.
Esho or that Liverpool paper.
Yeah, that Liverpool paper, yeah. But anyway, on that note, we say good night, Anthony.
Good night, Frank. Good night, Jace. Good night, one and all. Thank you so much for being with us. And thank you, Gap Painting.
There you go. It's just for me to say I'll see you tomorrow night on the football show. And I suppose there'll be plenty to say tomorrow night. Good night, everybody. Thank you, everyone. And to our Italian ladies, buonanotte.
And thank you. Yeah.
Ci vediamo. Ciao. And to our ordinary English speaking, especially the fella over in India.
Cheers,
Don't
thank
bump,
you much.
whatever you do, Johan, don't bump into Ursula, please. Don't bump into her. I'll see you again. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye now, everybody. Good night.
Good night.